Once upon a time, there was a man named the Canadian Wi-Fi. And what happens when you hang out with the Canadian Wi-Fi on Pokemon Showdown? You end up with an inside joke known as Bulkytrode. And what happens when you make a joke called Bulkytrode? You end up making a team based around a bulky Electrode. I made a team with the bulky Electrode, and this was one of the matches, and yeah, let's just get on with it. Okay, this is like my 5th recording of the team preview. Maybe I can get this right. So, there are a few threats on his team that should be noted, mostly the Golurk, the Combuskin, and the Articuno. If it's like a bulky Subroost Articuno, then that will be very difficult to deal with. Combuskin, if I allow it to set up, then it will possibly sweep through my whole team, and this team really has nothing to deal with Golurk, so I will have to fodder some things. But what I do notice is that he has no Rapid Spinners and no Poison types, so getting up my entry hazards will be my #1 priority, because 2 Pokemon on my team need entry hazards in order to function. Also, if I get up my entry hazards, then it will make it easier for my late game sweeper in Tauros to sweep more effectively. But overall, this team shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and lead off with my Garbodor just so I can get up my Toxic Spikes, because as you'll see later, the Toxic Spikes are a pretty big deal. His Golurk, I'm just gonna stay in against it just because, like I said, this team has nothing to deal with Golurk, as he goes for the Dynamic Punch, and I hit myself in confusion, which isn't gonna matter at all because he's gonna switch out into his Combuskin, but I snap out of my confusion and I get up my first layer of Toxic Spikes, and that's really all I need in this battle. But like I said, this thing is a threat, so I'm gonna switch straight into my Scarfed Gardevoir as I trace his Blaze. What? And I just kill him off with a Psychic. That thing was a threat, and so is this thing. I'm gonna just stay in on it, and get some damage off with the Psychic as he just kills me with the Shadow Punch. But this means that he is choice locked, I know now, so I can go into Guile, the #1 family ball in the house, as he goes into his Slacking, but I have the Protect, and because of Truant and my Protect, I can stall this thing until the end of time. And now his Slacking is poisoned, so I can just sit in here and wait for him to die. I'm gonna predict the switch now, and I'm gonna set up a sub, and this is where bulky Electrode becomes awesome. No, I don't set up a sub, I go straight for the Torment. That's right, Tormentrode is like the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna set up a sub here as he tries to toxic me. Get that shit out of here. I don't want to see that. You can't toxic the bulky Electrode, that's impossible. So I'm just going to go straight for the Thunderbolt. The cool thing about bulky Electrode is that not only is it awesomely defensive, but it's great in its offenses. As you can see, Thunderbolt did more than half to that thing, but now he knows that his Golurk completely walls me, but I don't care, because he is choice banded, as I now know. I can go for the Torment, and every other turn he will have to use Struggle, which will greatly decrease his health very fast, and will basically render his Alamomola's Wish useless. He actually stays in and struggles here, which breaks my sub, funnily enough, and as you can see, he's less than half now. That's how fast this thing can just wreck through teams. I'm gonna go for a Protect here, just to force him to use Struggle again, but I'm going to predict the switch now as he goes into his Articuno and set up another sub. Now, I'm trying to figure out what kind of Articuno this is, so I'm just going to go straight for the Torment as he goes for the Heal Bell, which of course doesn't matter at all because they're Toxic Spikes and they'll just get poisoned as soon as they come in. I'm going to go for the Torment, again predicting a switch, but he actually stays in and misses Hail. You know, that's a risky run when you run Hail. But I'm just going to stay in and try to get damage on the Articuno as he actually switches into his Basculin, so that thing dies, which is good because that was a threat. He's going to go into his Alamomola, and that thing is just going to die to another Thunderbolt. And yeah, Guile's just wrecking through this team. Nothing can stop it. He's going to switch into his Golurk now. I'm just going to go straight for the Torment as he breaks my sub with an Earthquake. Here I figure that he can either stay in and die, or he has to switch. So this means that I get an opportunity to go into my late game sweeper Tauros as he switches into his slacking. I could have just stalled out the rest of his team, but this guy was complaining in the chat and it was getting a little annoying. So I'm just going to go straight for the return as it is a 2-hit KO, and he's going to go for the Earthquake, which is also a 2-hit KO. Here I go for a Zen Headbutt just in case he wanted to switch into his Golurk, but he actually goes into his Articuno and I crit him with the Zen Headbutt, which of course doesn't matter because, as we all know, our good friend Tauros gets Rock Slide, which will easily kill the Articuno. That thing died like 5 times. He's gonna switch, or no, he's not gonna switch, he's just gonna forfeit right here, and yeah, good game, man, that was awesome. I'm probably gonna upload some kind of live video using this team, probably upload some more battles, but yeah. Also, I'll be starting a new playthrough project sometime this week, so yeah, I leave you guys now with this.